Welcome back. 7 days to go, so day 14. Where are we up to? In our 3,000 points in 3 weeks challenge. Well, here we've got our painted Scorcher, painted gun wagon, painted war buggy. This is the flak wagon. Those haven't been painted yet. And here it's a painted death, whatever they're called. Some Death Fighter, something like that. I'm going to use Star Wars Legion's flying stands for these because they're pretty cool and they allow you to do some crazy kind of dynamic posing like that, which is cool. Here's the big boy, our mega giant Gargant. He came in about, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 parts, 14 separate parts that I had to support and then print. Some of them were easier to print than others, but it's all printed, it's all glued on its base. I thought put it on a base to protect it a bit, and giving it the old red undercoat. And this week he'll be getting a paint job. I also ordered some old school 40k orc transfers, so I'm going to use those instead of doing anything freehand. So any of the plates, like maybe here or up here, there, anywhere I can stick a transfer, maybe I'll do some of that in order to make him look a bit funky without me having to do too much freehand work, because I'm a big believer in the old 80-20 rule. So I am looking for 80% of the outcome with 20% of the effort, and I will leave the 20% of the outcome that takes 80% of the effort to the pro painter types. That ain't my job. Right, so what have we got here? We've got the rest of the Death Fighters, or whatever they're called. I should really know the names of them, but I'm not an expert at this game yet. Really simple paint job. Where they were glued to the stick, and then I washed, kind of left a bit of residue here, but you won't see that. And these are the Star Wars Legion little flying stand accessories that you glue to the bottom of the miniature in order for it to sit on its stand nicely. Provide you a nice gluing access point so you don't have to drill any holes. So that's cool. We did that. We've done the blast markers. So I printed 15 of these blast markers. They're a little bit on the big side, but if you've played the game, the cardboard blast markers are gigantic. So the fact that these look a little bit big, it's not much of an issue. They're transparent, they're red. I think they're pretty cool. It took up an entire bed to print 15, but that no supports needed, so just bang them on and print them. So that's good. We've got those there. We've got in our box, we've got all the war buggies done, we've got all the Scorchers done. We haven't got any of the flak wagons done. Over on here, just needs unpacking all the gun wagons are painted and ready to go. I'm not probably going to get around to the dry rushing because as everything, as anybody who knows who's ever had a task to do, the task expands to fill whatever space you give it. So I gave it 3 weeks. It's going to take 3 weeks, mainly because I've spent a lot of time pissing around doing bits and bobs like printing blast markers and making these orc objectives. So I printed some 28mm orc heads that I found on the Thingiverse, scaled them up quite a lot, so they were 20mm on the x-axis, put them on 40mm bases. I think I undercoated them some kind of gun-metal-y, chain metal-y, and then gave them a good green wash to make them look very orky. We've got these 3 here, which we're going to use as our objectives. And then I messed around with basing. I was trying to do, you can tell I had time on my hands. I was taking sand and then I was adding food colouring to it. Waste of time. Couldn't get it to dry. Spent ages trying to get it to dry. Couldn't get it to dry properly. I also did the similar thing when put some fluorescent paint. And again, trying to do it with some kind of wet blend, whatever. Why reinvent the wheel when GW invented said wheel? So I got myself some of the GW Modern Earth crackle paint. I'm going to try and make some bigger cracks, but that is my basing scheme. I haven't got a lot to base. I've got the big boy, I've got the flying stands, and I have the orc objectives to base. And I'm going to be undercoating, well, priming white, and then putting a layer of this Vallejo fluorescent green And then I'm going to put a layer of PVA and then fire on a thick layer of this mortared earth in order to get some crackle effect. So I've got 1 week today, 1 week to go. 1 week today I'll be playing, I'll be in midway through round 1 or in the early parts of round 1. I'm loving the Gargant. I think he's an absolute monster. He's very orky. And hopefully he'll bring me some luck. I think they take a lot of work to put down, and seeing that all my army is kind of armoured vehicles, kind of. Everything they're putting into him is leaving my armoured vehicles alive, which is the plan. So we'll see if it's, I mean, plans never survive contact with the enemy, so maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. If I come out with a win, a loss and a draw like I did last time, I'll be more than happy. And I will see you. I'll put one more video out before I go to the event and one video post-event. Okay, so see you next week.